Alright everybody, after actually finding some time to do another Fallout 4 video, I decided after so many viewer requests and comments that I should do a legendary wounding effect for a gun in Fallout 4, of course, and today I'm going to be using the wounding automatic pipe rifle, and I'm going to try to aim for the best pipe weapon in all of Fallout 4 without glitches or mods, and let's just pretty much get into the video, of course. Now, I'm going to start off with the powerful automatic receiver to build this gun, and I'm going to get the long fin barrel. I'm going to use a marksman stock. I'm going to use a quick eject drum mag. I'm going to use the glow sights, but you pretty much may use whatever sight to your own heart's content, and for a barrel shroud, you may use whatever barrel shroud to your own heart's content. I chose a suppressor. Alright, but interesting note that I managed to pull off during the making of this video is that when I found this legendary weapon, I found it off of something that is not really supposed to happen. I actually found this legendary weapon off of a dead Minuteman at a checkpoint near USAF satellite station, and I did the Minutemen ending, of course, against the Institute, and the Minutemen were fighting the Institute since right here in this checkpoint, trying to hold it off, have me, well, kill the rest of the synths, and I looked around the whole entire area to see if there was any legendary synths or any legendary enemies around, and I did not see any legendary enemies in the whole entire premise or area, and I managed to pull this whole entire legendary weapon off of a dead Minuteman, of course, on this checkpoint, and the USAF satellite station is actually barely even in sight distance from this checkpoint. But one thing to quickly note is that the pipe weapons in general, legendary pipe weapons, you can actually find these in the very beginning of the game, of course, even if you're playing on survival, and you can find pipe weapons in very low levels of the game. And one enemy I would recommend to actually get pipe weapons from for legendaries is try to find a legendary Radroach. After many hours of me actually grinding and, well, me killing legendary Radroaches and just random legendary enemies, legendary Radroaches will more likely spawn pipe weapons for legendaries more than any other gun. But let's get on to the gun build, of course, instead of ranting on, shall we? Now, starting off, this build, believe it or not, actually is able to kill any enemy in the game. It's so good for a legendary. Now, I actually, in general, was not suspecting this gun to even be good at all because it was a pipe weapon in general, but when you have the pipe weapon on automatic for the receiver with the legendary wounding effect, wounding actually stacks, or bleeding damage stacks, and since it stacks, it ends up being blatantly overpowered in the game in general. So, if I was to talk about a legendary effect, I would recommend the legendary wounding effect for any gun that has a high rate of fire. But if we're talking about guns that are only in semi-auto, I would have to pretty much just suggest either explosive or two-shot, of course, because, well, they just don't have the DPS to actually make bleeding damage stack, of course. But in general, you can kill the highest level enemies in the game with this build with just barely even the 38 caliber bullets. And I managed to kill this legendary Death Skull Rad Scorpion, as you can see, since bleeding damage pretty much stacks. And another thing that's pretty interesting to know, last but not least, is that 38 caliber is actually the most common round in the game, same as the pipe weapons being the most common weapons in the game. So you can find this at any level, at any given time, build this, and you can use it even till in-game when you actually stack your perks. Speaking of perks, you're going to want to get the Commando perk, of course, because in general, the Commando perk increases damage for automatic weapons in general. And last but not least, you're just going to want the Gun Nut perk maxed out, because the Gun Nut perk actually ends up letting you have every attachment you possibly need for pipe weapons, and you really only need to get it up to maybe a level 3 in general just to be able to make this legendary weapon build overall. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Like and subscribe, comment in the middle of my videos for suggestions. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.